Hey,
Hey, yo,
how do I
yo,
sound?
yo.
Good evening, man.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it's super clear.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
How's the background noise?
Uh, yeah, there's no background noise, so that's
Okay,
cool.
sick.
Yeah, this is sick.
All
This
right.
is sick. Yeah.
How are you, man?
All right. I think in terms of the technical stuff, I think all is okay. And then
Mm-hmm.
before we go with the podcast, I usually like to try to have a brief understanding of like what are you about, like the things that you're gonna talk about, because the things that
All
I
right.
usually want to talk about like is the things that you kind of do, like
All right.
say you really like listening to music, that kind of stuff, then what lead you
Mm-hmm.
into the listening of the music, yeah, like what is in your world, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can tell me briefly right over here before we go quite in-depth inside. So spending, I
Okay.
think you until 9 p.m, okay, right? So
Yeah.
probably we talk about 40 minutes, okay?
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
So probably you can run me through like what's the thing that you kind of like doing, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
well, I'm not a very interesting person, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Similarly,
well,
I think myself also like not very interesting. I kind just playing around with this podcast and all that. Cause it's close to no viewers and all that unless I post it up
okay.
on Instagram. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Go
right.
on there to share.
Okay. What do you want to know? Like about like
Yeah, it can be anything though.
what
Yeah.
what I used to do or what I do now?
What you used to do and probably what you do as well for now. Yeah, I think we can touch
Okay.
most of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All
Right.
right. So before I I used to
Yeah.
go for local shows like bands.
Right.
Yeah, like I would go every Saturday,
Right.
and then on weekends I would go to school. I
Mm.
studied at Kaplan.
Yeah. Oh, Kaplan.
Yeah,
I see.
I took a mass communication diploma.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that
and
though. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
I play a lot of video games.
Right. Similarly, yes,
Uh,
I'm as well. I'm a video gamer as well. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a real sucker for World of Warcraft.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I see.
So
I see.
nowadays,
Yeah.
on my off days, I just sit at home. I just play World of Warcraft
You mean like
all day long.
nowadays? This few days?
Yeah,
Oh,
nowadays.
cool. Okay,
Because
okay.
I'm really like I used to be kind of extroverted,
Right,
but now I'm kind of just like I'm really tired of socializing. If that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I told you I'm not interesting. I don't really have much.
Oh, that why was it like you kind of like from this like extroverted kind of person become introverted? From my impression, it's like you felt like too tired to like socializing, or you find it like you're living in such a fake environment, you're not being
Yeah.
yourself, that kind of a stuff, and then you step into this place of like having your me time, spending your
Mhm.
time playing your World of Warcraft. Is that how it is like that? Yeah.
Um, it's honestly I don't even know why I
Oh,
got tired of
right.
people. Like I don't know, man. I think I'm just growing up.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that. It's like you
Like
like subconsciously like you're doing it. You just like kind of use your gut feeling intuition to say that I want to be I like to have my own time to do the things
yeah.
that matters to me and all that, and you somehow got tired of the past that you don't like
Mhm.
going out as much as you used to, or that kind of thing, right? Is that how it goes? Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to this bar called Stickies every day after school.
Right. Oh, I know that. Okay.
Yeah, every day without fail.
Right.
But
You meet every single
yeah,
day?
every day. 'Cause it's like
Whoa, fuck.
it's about like 15 minutes away from my school.
Right,
Yeah, so I would go there, do my essay, and then I just hang out with my friends.
right, right,
Yeah,
right, right.
but yeah.
So you kind of like hang out and do the stuff. Is it
Hmm.
mostly your friends who comes from secondary school, or like the people you actually hang out with is those people that you
Oh, no,
actually meet from there?
I don't hang out with those people anymore. Now because
Right,
like they're not really. I don't consider them as friends.
right,
They're kind of just schoolmates,
right,
because I don't take the word friend lightly. I have like crazy trust issues.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
So
So now I kind of just
yeah.
keep it myself.
Is it like a past thing that you kind of like feel that um that you have this like relationship, because it seems like you have like a different relationship with this word friend, because like I normally hear from other people, right? They use this friend thing, right, as like a very casual thing that you can say out
Hmm.
very easily that, oh, this guy my friend. Then like any random stranger, and this guy can be my bro, hey bro, hey bro, that kind of stuff. But
Hmm.
do you like you trying to like distinguish, like you drawing a line on who is my friend and who is not my friend. So
Hmm.
like is that like a reason for that, like
Yeah.
for you to do that? Yeah, like
Um.
yeah, what make you actually like want to like draw this line of like having this friend? Was there any like sort of like experience that caused you to think of that? Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of experiences with people that are very
Mm.
artificial.
Right,
Um. Like actually,
right.
people don't really care about other people, right?
Yeah, yeah, like it's a hard fact, right?
Yeah, but I mean, because it's like nowadays there's a lot of I mean, I'm not mad at them for being like this, but there's a lot of, I don't know if patronizing is the right word,
Right.
but they're always there, like, oh hey, like I'll be here for you, or everything's gonna be all right, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But truth is, they don't give a fuck, man.
Yes.
They're just
Yes.
saying that because society kind of wants wants everyone to paint a pretty picture
Yeah.
that everyone's
Definitely.
out there for each other, but really,
Mm.
we're all alone in this world.
Yeah. Definitely. Like
Hmm.
the things that you talk so far, like wow, like you gotten fucking deep, bro. Like I totally buy into the stuff that you actually talk about. Like I can totally relate it up, because like say for example, like yesterday I SSB, do the packing of the mask and all that.
All right,
Sitting in
yeah, I
groups
wasn't
of,
there.
yeah, sitting in groups of six. How like
Uh huh.
how like people can like treat you like, whoa, you are my bro, we're talking, we're chit chatting and all that. We were very active in talking and all that. And after all the packing and all that, everyone just head back to their own home, and they don't talk
Mhm.
to you. They don't interact with you anymore, because they have their own
Mhm.
things. Like, people don't care. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just
I
like,
mean, and they're
right,
they're not wrong for that too.
right, definitely. And I can totally relate that. It's like a hard truth up to today. Like, I'm struggling to like think of like what's right, what's wrong, and having more clarity. And recently I just like being so hard on myself to think about all this type of stuff. That am I doing this wrong, or any sort of that? But I just start to think of like more positively. Like times when
Mhm.
you are too hard on yourself and all that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can totally relate to the thing that you're talking about, like society is behaving that way and all that. Yeah. So
Mhm.
like besides that, like all this type of stuff, like is there any uh things that you like to like talk about and all that?
What do I want to talk about?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, man. I don't really.
All right. So probably
Yeah.
right now, right? Like, how will you like describe your daily lives like that? Like, what is the things that you try to focus on? Because like, we work in the army, right? Then, like,
Mm-hmm.
probably your after hours, your probably like your 6 p.m. onwards. Like, what do you usually do during your free time and all that?
In camp,
Outside of camp, yeah. Because
outside
in
of camp.
camp we are not fucking interested. That's a
Yeah.
that's a fucking
Yeah, it's
that's
really
a
boring, man.
fucking hell.
Fucking
Okay,
boring.
yeah. I can understand you, yeah. Because like
Uh-huh.
yeah, people like you yourself and like other people like oh damn shit. It's yeah. So after hours,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
after hours.
Right,
Well, my routine is okay, on Friday nights, if I don't go to the bar,
right,
I get myself 2 cans of beer,
right,
go to my room, maybe pet my dog a little,
right.
and play video games.
Right.
Not much, man. Like I'm
Yeah.
really like boring, bro.
Talking about
But okay,
your
one
yeah, why?
one thing I wanna kind of like talk about, right,
Right.
is that there's actually,
Mm.
because you notice like social media, especially Twitter or whatever, like in
Yes.
our culture, like people our age, a lot of us go about saying like, hey, I'm depressed, I'm really sad and shit like that. We always listen to
Yeah.
sad songs.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything's about being negative, being sad.
Right.
And what do you think about that?
Uh, like people like I don't know, like people are just like trying to get how there's one very recent thing that I actually found out which was like when was that? I think it was like last Wednesday night. Then suddenly I was showering then I suddenly think of something like hey like what makes people fulfilled in life and all
Mm-hmm.
that, and they just like wants the attention, they just want to have the affirmation, and because that kind of like affirmation, that kind of admiration from others, right, that it's like a human connection thing, and is what
Mm-hmm.
makes people feel happy. I don't know what to call that lah. It's just a very great vibes, it can lift up your mood, and people putting up all those bullshit, right, they are just trying to like get the fake admiration which
Mm-hmm.
they don't get in their real life, what I'm saying. Like in real life they probably they are low in self-esteem, they do not have like self-worth, that kind of stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
they will reach out to different platforms, right, like Twitter or and then say that oh I'm depressed, I'm sad, to in order to get the attention that they really
And
want.
then they don't actually do anything to fix it,
Right,
right?
right. So
They just go around, crawl around
yes,
in their self pity. Yeah,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So what do you think about it though? Like, about
I
that.
used to be like that.
Okay,
I used to be like that.
right,
Uh, in fact, the whole of last year I was like that.
right, right, right. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and how I got out of it
right.
is through um music.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. I
mm,
mean, I,
mm.
I, I don't I don't I don't play instruments and whatever,
Right, right, right.
but
Is it like
I
a sort of a hobby that you like to listen to?
yeah, I listen to music like all the time.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my fidget spinner.
Ah, I see, I see, I see.
Like I need to have music playing all the time.
Right, right, right,
Um, so okay, I used to listen to a lot of sad music,
right.
you know, just
Mm-hmm.
to feed my sadness, because honestly, sadness is a very addicting thing. It's fun to feel something.
Right.
All right, and to some people, actually, I feel like all people,
Mm-hmm.
no, not all, maybe majority,
Right.
they okay when someone doesn't have anything to be happy about, all right, they'll feel sad,
Yep.
and then they will turn this sadness into something to be proud of. It's like they're proud of being sad
Mm-hmm.
because it makes them quirky. Like
Mm.
they feel like they're different. Like it's their niche. It's what they are.
Right.
So they go around spreading the negative energy. Like, hey, I'm actually depressed and shit. And then the kind of response they expect from people is like, oh wow, that's so sad, and pat their heads and shit.
Right. Right. Right.
But we all know that doesn't happen. People will just be like, oh wow, you're sad. All right, I'll talk to you for a bit. And then just like everyone else, they'll just leave you behind.
Yeah.
And then you'll be left with a bigger hole in your heart.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good example of that is
Right.
there are a lot of people who look for relationships because
Yes. Correct.
they need to fill up that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And a relationship based on sadness isn't a healthy one.
Mm.
I know because like that's a personal experience.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then eventually you'll be back to where you started, but you're even more sad. You're sadder than how you were.
Right. Was it like
Yeah.
a past relationship that you actually gotten with like someone and then you sort of experience it, or?
Yeah.
Ah, I see, I see. So like
Mm.
what actually went down, and you actually like looking back, like what do you think about
Okay.
it though?
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, my whole like since primary school, through secondary school and everything, I didn't have a lot of friends,
Right.
and I was very envious of other people because everyone's always hanging out with their friends after school and whatnot.
Right.
But for me, I had nobody,
Right.
so I was really sad and shit.
Yeah.
And then I got into a relationship with a girl who claimed that like she made me believe that she's my happiness,
Right.
and eventually we ended it. Did things for myself,
Right.
and basically I became happier not caring about anything. Because
Mm.
honestly, because I think too much. I think a lot,
Yes.
and thinking too much is actually a bad trait,
Yeah. Right.
especially when you're a very keep to yourself kind of person.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
laying in your bed at night. You're gonna be thinking a lot, and then you know you're just
Yeah.
torturing yourself.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. What do you think about like thinking too much and then that kind of stuff? Like, are you struggling with like that as well up to like today?
No, not. I actually ended that whole thingy last end of last year.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So like
Mm-hmm.
what actually was the thing that actually helped you to end on this like self negative thoughts or what's so not? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Music.
Oh, music.
Yeah.
So oh wow,
I
yeah, right.
I found this band. They're um okay, basically because I used to listen to sad music a lot,
Right,
pop punk, emo, that kind of shit. They sing a lot about sad shit,
right, right, right.
and that feeds the sadness.
Yes,
All right,
right,
so I kind of moved away from that music. I started listening to happier kind of music.
right.
Yeah. So okay, that's one of the factors. Another one is like I realized that like what is there to worry about?
Mm. You mean you
Like
you like you start to ask yourself questions like this?
yeah, what is there to worry about?
Right,
Well, nothing.
right,
There's literally nothing to be sad about. I still live with my parents. I have food. I have a bed. I have a job. Well, okay. So what else do I need?
right.
Nothing. I'm comfortable. There's nothing to be sad about. And even if something shitty happens, like say okay, let's say I get cancer
Yeah.
for smoking too much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what? I mean,
Mm.
if I die, then I die.
Right, right, right.
And then like everyone dies. So what is
Mm.
there to worry about?
Mm.
It's kind of like it's a very fuck it mentality.
Yeah, yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
it, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Yeah, it
But
sucks.
yeah, yeah,
I just came to terms with the fact that life sucks in general.
yeah,
Because if we focus too much on trying to make things better, we won't ever be comfortable because there's always something that's better than what you have. You could be a billionaire, but there will always be something better than being a billionaire.
right.
Right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could have like, you know, the hottest wife, you have really cute children and everyone's happy and shit. But
yeah,
there's always something better than that. So if you're always striving to get that something, to get that better thing, you're never gonna rest. You'll never be comfortable. So you
yeah,
may as well just be happy with what you have right now, even if it sucks. Fuck it, man. Fuck it, dude. It's just enjoy it, man.
yeah. Definitely. Like I think that this type of questions, like I used to not like I used to get super lazy about like asking this type of questions. Like I found it like lame that like asking these questions. Why would I do that? Like I'm not like a 5-year-old kind of a kid and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
recently when I started asking this type of like questions, like what do I value, why am I leaving, that kind of stuff, then answer starts to kick in already. Like everything started to make sense. Like I have a life,
Mm-hmm.
I was given this opportunity to do stuff, although I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
rich, that kind of stuff. I do not have fancy clothes. I do not have like fancy shit that people flex to me on social media and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But I got my life. I have my computer. I can play Dota all day. I can play my video games
Exactly.
all day, and I have the food, everything. Like like I have reached this point of like gratefulness, and
Mm-hmm.
like every time when I feel like sad and all that, I will ask questions like do I really want it to be this way? Do I really want to use my life to think about all this negative
Mm-hmm.
shit? And you know it just brings me to great places and all that. And I just feel that even if I die or touch wood, like even if I die, I will be happy to do this. So these are the questions that I kind
Mm-hmm.
of ask to actually bring myself there. Yeah, like I can totally relate when you talk about that. Like going to those place of like asking yourself questions. And I like that the thing that you talk about, like the songs. So maybe you can talk about like your the music that you actually listen to, especially the band that you've been listening to, because I think it is a big factor. Like different people have like their own ways to get into that happy vibes, which I call it like happy vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I it just can't be explained, right? Like sometimes I do something, then I will feel like wow, just wow, very uplifting, very show, and yeah, I can totally relate to that feeling. Is that how you actually feel
Yeah.
whenever you listen to your music?
Um.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The band my favorite band right now. I can't. It's not really like a good example
Right.
because
Right.
they don't make music about like being happy. You know that one song, "Happy" by what the fuck is his name? The guy that what Will Ferrell, Pharrell Williams.
Will you
No, no,
happy
no. It's
along? Oh,
no, it's not. It's not like that.
yeah.
It's more of okay. They sing a lot about having a shitty life,
Okay.
but the way they portray it is
Right.
more of a like fuck it, bro. Like okay, yeah, it sucks, but it's still all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sing about things like not having a credit card, not having a house,
Right.
getting kicked out for spending the rent money on on cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah, like it sucks, but but they're still kind of like fuck it
Right.
about it.
So is it
So
the lyrics that draws you in?
it's the way the music is made. It's very like the tone is very happy sounding.
Hmm. I see. I see.
Hmm.
It sounds like the whole thing about that song itself, that band itself, is just it just brings you in because you talk
Hmm.
about the lyrics like wow. I feel like you can like have a deep connection with the person who actually wrote the lyrics and all that, and as well as the tone and all that
Uh-huh.
that actually brings you into that vibe or that
Because
zone, right?
what's important, right,
Right.
is that we shouldn't fake our happiness because a lot of people, right,
Yeah.
that you see,
Oh yeah.
they fake their happiness. For example, like they will listen to that happy song and
Right.
then they'll go around all smiling and shit, and then when they get home they would take off that mask and they're like sad again.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of thing. That's not nice at all because at the end of the day you're still sad,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm.
So what what I suggest everyone else should do, right, is just
Yeah.
accept accept it. Life sucks,
Mm.
but that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be down about it.
Mm.
Because no matter what, there will always be something shitty. I mean, dude, there's like so much shit going on, man. Like we got
Yeah.
people starving, we got people getting killed, but you know, you worry too much about that, and you're not gonna make it, man.
Yeah. Definitely. I like you talking about like faking your happiness, that kind of thing. It speaks to me like because like today I just did like a podcast with two other people and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
whenever I do podcasts, right, there's always like moments where like the reason why I don't do with groups for podcasts is that I'm afraid that I will lose myself, that I will not behave myself, and then I sort of like what you term me just now as like faking your happiness, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm speaking to one of the guests this afternoon, I already can start to feel that I'm like faking my happiness when I don't think that I have like a connection with that opposite person who I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to, that because I just want to make the person feel nice and let him feel the affirmation and all that, and then I
Mm-hmm.
fake that I'm happy or what so not, then it's just you know it yourself on because but I'm trying to get that self-awareness that I am actually doing that, because it has become a habit already. I've been doing this like faking of happiness. I don't know come from where or what so not, probably my environment and then
Mm-hmm.
I like to take that L, take that loss, that I actually do that up to now
Mm-hmm.
and all that. But you talking about that, it actually brought me clarity that I shouldn't do that. It's
Yeah.
it's not good. Like like at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, like it's all about your self worth and all that. You faking your happiness is just it's just so stupid
Mm-hmm.
when you actually like put it into a clearer picture, right? Like you just not say like it's just like not worth it, like. And I also like that you actually talk about like painting the picture of like having the worst case scenario, because life is shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to like was kind of like delusional about it, I'll say, like saying that
Mm-hmm.
wow, like things will go well and all that, and it's always like it always leads me to disappointment because and
Mm-hmm.
every time I think like so high of the standards of the things that is gonna turn out, right, then at the end of the day,
Yeah.
poof, it's like what the
Yeah.
fuck. then then
Exactly.
and then you know it goes to a whole fun cycle. Then it will like, okay, you reset after like 1 hour or
Yeah.
2 hours or another day later. Then you do this, you meet the same event again. It's like a funny pattern. Is like the pattern that
Uh-huh.
you can like see, you know, like, and like, wow, it's I was like living a fucking sad life since
Uh-huh.
age 0 to 2019, you know. And you know,
Uh-huh.
like up to today, and you slightly talk about this, and I like, ah, this guy, man, Edward, you got this.
Mhm.
Like, you understand how I felt. Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah, because I can see a lot of similarities between us. We're both gamers,
Yes.
and
And
yeah,
yeah,
I
I'm super
understand.
introverted as well, and so you
Uh-huh.
know, like there's a lot of things that you talk about, you know. That's why halfway through the conversation I was like saying, hey, well, you are going to some deep shit, because whoa, these are the stuff that are not talked about. And you know, like once in a while, like once in a blue moon, I can find someone who actually can speak to me at
Mm-hmm.
this level. I wouldn't say like it's like, oh fuck, this guy IQ fucking high, that's why I can reach this level. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. I feel I'm totally a no. I'm like against like entitlement. You know, like people like
Mm, yeah.
giving people entitlement, that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Totally.
It,
Yeah.
you know, okay, I have like a like I I, I used to have like really high standards for everything.
Right.
Like I want things to be perfect.
Right.
Just basically, everyone wants things to go their way, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Like there's no denying that we want things to happen on our terms.
Right.
And if we don't get the results that we expect, we get upset. We either get angry or we get really sad.
Right.
All right. So the way to counter this is to just not have standards at all. I mean, it sounds kind of shit.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it sounds
Yeah.
pretty shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like hey, bro, just like don't have standards, dude. But
Right.
it's kind of it's true. Like if you don't if you don't have expectations,
Yeah.
then you're not gonna get any bad results because bad results don't exist,
Yes.
right?
Right.
That's exactly it. That's exactly how I've been doing things, man.
I see. I see. I see. So like you kind
Mm,
of like have nothing in expectation, and then you just roll with things, right?
yeah,
Ah, I
yeah.
see.
Like okay, let's say you fancy this girl,
Right.
and you go ask her out, and then she's like, "Oh no, I can't." Normally people would be like, "Oh fuck, dude! Like, wow, I really
Yeah.
like her, man. Like, shit, bro. Like, she was the one, man."
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, I don't have that problem because, like, okay, all right, cool. I'll just whatever. I'll do my own thing
Right.
because I wasn't expecting her to go out with me in the first place. But, you get the point?
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Like
Yeah.
if you, because it's like a thing that you this brings me to a different subject matter, you know, like this brings me to, like, you know, whenever you are surrounded by people who are like that, who like, hey, this girl, I did not get it, then they show their sadness, you know, like in front of everybody, and then you are like part of the audience who was like watching this guy who like saying, oh, I didn't get it, like, you know, like
Yeah.
get whiny and all that kind of bullshit. Like, how much like does that kind of thing affect you? Because like to me, right, it, I don't know if it affects me or not, but I got a gut feeling that it kind of like affects me. Yeah. So what do you think
Like
about those?
when other
Yeah.
people react.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
because I understand that not everyone is like me.
Right.
Because me, I try my best to subdue my emotions
Yes.
because emotions keep you from thinking rationally.
Right.
So, I understand that people still have emotions. So when people are sad and whatever, well, the usual, I just try to, just make them feel better, give them a few kind words and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But what irritates me is
Yeah.
when they don't do anything to help themselves.
Right.
Yeah, because asking for pity is just disgusting.
Right. Right. Right.
Really, 'cause I used to be like that. Cause you know the feel when you if you look at, say,
Yeah.
old videos of yourself, like when
Yes.
you're in secondary school or whatever,
Right.
or you hear stories of what you used to do and whatever, and then you feel really cringe about it.
Right.
That's how I feel when I see people being overly emotional. Because I used to be like that. I'm like, fuck, dude, it's pretty, kind of cringe, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not judging them or anything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, like it reminds me of my old self. I'm like, fuck, dude, why am I like that? Why was I like that?
I see. Like, like I get you. But the thing that I'm like trying to get into is like, does those type of like situation where people like get, um, you know, how to say, it's negative, that kind of thing, that they react like negatively towards those situations. Does those like situations, right, affect you, especially those like your friends who behave that way in reacting like towards like, oh, didn't get this goal, and then they react like, oh, I didn't get this goal, that kind of stuff. Does it affect you? Like, does it like make you get negatively influenced by them? Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah. What how does your uh uh mindset is like whenever like such situations goes about though? Like, do you think like, oh, not my problem, this just
No, no, it's not like that.
right.
It's more of
Right.
like, I feel like it's my responsibility to to help them
Right.
get them to a better place.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't have empathy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you do
So
you do not have empathy for them?
no, maybe a little bit of sympathy,
Right.
but like, me helping people, I see it more of a like a duty, you
Right.
know?
Right. So
I
it's
don't I don't feel anything. I don't share the sadness with them or anything, but I feel like I should be responsible to get this person to a better place,
right.
which is kind of like a bad thing for me as well,
Right.
because
Right.
usually, right, I'm okay with helping my friends, but when it comes to strangers, because I have this like weird thing, right,
Yeah.
where people are very comfortable with sharing their feelings and sob story with me,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
even if I don't ask for it.
All right.
Like, yeah, like, 'cause, my one of my best friends told me, she said it's kind of like my aura, like people feel like I'm Jesus or something. So
All
so
right.
they'll tell me all these things, and I feel
Right.
like, it's my responsibility to help these people,
Mm.
but it kind of backfires, because especially when it comes to girls, man, like I would slowly
Right.
start to like feel attached,
Yeah.
and really, like, there's nothing going on between the two of us, but
Yeah.
I feel attached because they're
Right.
seeking help, and
Okay.
like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel like it's my responsibility to help this person.
Yeah.
And then, as usual, these people will just leave, because, like, either I already helped them,
Yeah.
or or they're just they just really needed someone to vent to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually can totally
yeah,
relate to those type of situation. Like this random person just approached me and talks his heart out, and then share everything, and then you giving your own opinion, and then that guy just after like 15 minutes 20 minutes, then that guy just go off, and then I like, what the fuck, like, and then two
Yeah.
days later 3 days later, I think about that situation that actually happened, and then I like, what the fuck, this guy just approached me, and then he just like, that's it, like, what the fuck.
These people they're just looking for a free therapist because therapists are kind of expensive, so they're just like, oh fuck, I'm not paying for that shit, bro.
Yeah, like, like I think that me thinking back, like I think it's like during 2019 2018, like I actually experienced a lot of like this type of experience, and I can totally relate to that shit, bro, like, like, but that's how I just don't know how to navigate through this thing. I don't know what the fuck was that, dude. So,
Hmm.
can you give me some enlightenment for that? Like, what?
Yeah, yeah. These people are just looking for usually because me, I'm kind of like good at
Yeah.
not showing any negativity.
Yeah.
So people would assume that I'm a very happy person,
Right. Do you think that's a
and
good thing though? Like, you not
I
showing your.
mean, it's a
Yeah.
good thing. It's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
But
Right.
but to be like that, you need to know that people will use you to leech off of your good vibes.
Right.
Yeah, people will use you, man. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for that. Because if I were in their shoes, I probably would have done the same. I would look for someone happy, just bring in their energy, just absorb
Yes.
it.
Yes. Totally.
Let me tell you a short story.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, okay, so I went on this Tinder date,
Yeah.
and you know how Tinder is, dude. Like you just
Yeah.
okay, you meet someone, you hook up, and then you just that's it. That's the end of it. Like you ain't gonna find anything serious
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So so I met that girl having that mentality. Like okay, I'll just see where he goes. After that, I'll go home. I'll just play World of Warcraft. Like fuck it, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then she noticed my good vibes, and she's not a very happy person.
Yeah.
So she just leached off of my good vibes, and she made me believe. Because at the time, I was like very upset about things too. Like I had like some issues and whatever.
Right.
So she shared her sad story,
Yeah.
and she was like, like, hey, like I'll help you with your sad story too.
Yeah.
So she found out about my vulnerable side and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Right.
I thought it was leading somewhere because we were seeing each other for like quite a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not how Tinder dates go. Tinder dates, you just meet once and then that's it.
Yeah. Correct.
But yeah, so I thought it was going somewhere. Then eventually she kind of just ditched, and after talking to her and whatever, then I realized that yeah, she's one of those people that just really needed someone with a happy vibe to kind of just absorb from.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So at the time I was really angry because like what the fuck, dude? Like what is it with people always just coming to me and then just leaving and not helping me at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also when I realized like well, that's life, you know.
Mm.
People, I mean, we're all just hustling, we get what we need, we take what we want.
Yes.
If you're hungry, you eat. You're thirsty, you drink. That's exactly what she's doing.
Right.
I don't blame her for that.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, and then I talked to to one of my best friends about it.
Yeah.
She told me, yeah, that she told me that I have that vibe where when people hang out with me, they just feel happy. So you
Right.
know,
Yes.
yeah, that's when I stopped thinking too much about things because it's bad.
Mm. I
Mm.
see. I see. It's like pretty much like people will just come and go, and just it just happens
Yeah,
like very
like
often and all that. Yeah.
it's 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 inevitable.
I see.
So being someone like me, it's um it takes a lot of understanding.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
I guess I could compare myself to God. People only come to me when they desperately need something, and once they have it, they won't pray anymore.
Right.
Like people only pray when they're in deep shit.
Right.
But God doesn't hate us for that. So
Mm.
you know, so I feel like I should be the same. Like okay, like so now I have like a free therapy session. So like if anyone wants to hit me up, like it's
Right.
about $80 an hour. So yeah, I'm kidding. So
I can like totally like relate to your this type of story, like because like I feel like in the past like I pretty much have been doing that kind of a thing like subconsciously now that you talk about it and me thinking back, right, like actually yeah I actually do like this type of stuff, like I have like a group of friends and all that, and they just likes to have my energy and then me feeding them off, and then I feel exhausted after
hmm
like feeding my energy to them. It's like it's not like towards like single individuals or whatnot. It's like close friends, like close friends
hmm
that they just when times that whereby they needed me, and then I'll turn up, and then uh it's just like how say after few hours when the day's done, and then they sort of what I call use up already. They already like they feel satisfied, they feel fulfilled already. Then they just go off from there, and then I will always
hmm
like feel this at this type of like thing, like like my previous story, which was I was like saying like what the fuck just happened, that kind of stuff. Like I don't know
hmm
like I just like always turned up for this type of friends, and then till like until like when I actually entered the army or whatsoever, then I stopped to see this type of people already, and then I feel like wow, like suddenly I got like so much free time for myself, and then
hmm
I got so much more time for myself to play Dota and all that. Like,
hmm
but the thing is, up till today, I still don't get like what was that, like how do you actually like be able to like recognize that this is like a people leeching your energy off, and then
Well, thing is,
you
you
yeah.
can't really tell who's doing that,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
know, it's your you should just treat everyone like how you would treat your old friends, as in just help them. Like they may be leeching, but you need to understand that they do that for a reason. And like I know it's like very exhausting to
Yeah.
let these people leech off of you. So and that's when you need to kind of know your worth. So you
Right.
shouldn't be like, okay, let's say like, hey, let's hang out. I'm like I'm really sad and whatever. Like, yeah, sure, go and help them. But you
Yeah.
shouldn't you shouldn't get out of your way to help them. You help them when you can. You still need to focus on yourself.
Mm.
You know? Like
Mm.
if that day you don't feel like helping anyone, you just like tell them like, hey, I like you just come up with an excuse that you're doing something, you're occupied or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
shouldn't feel like a superhero. You shouldn't be a superhero.
Mm.
Just do
I
things
like
on
that
your own
analogy a lot.
terms.
Yeah,
Yeah, do things on your own terms
right.
because it's them that needs you, not you that needs them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of like a thing that you know your own limits, right? Like saying that
Mhm.
if you are not feeling it that day, that it's not something that you yourself you want to do it, you don't do it.
Mhm.
But if you feel like
Yeah.
you feel like you feel like oh, this is a day for my superhero day to turn up, then you kind of like go start helping others, and then once you are like
Yeah.
poof, like you
Yeah.
are exhausted, and then you, you being very honest with yourself, right?
Mhm.
Is that where we are trying to go? Yeah. So like
Yeah.
what was like is that your kind of like method that you actually do, like that you being very honest with yourself, like how are you how will you say like how honest are you towards yourself though? Yeah, like how do
I'm
you keep yourself in check? I'll say that. Yeah,
in check with like how.
like how honest are you towards yourself, because you know like when you start to go and help others, there are times whereby you get sucked in, whereby
Mhm.
it's like you don't really feel like it, but you are trying to be nice, so you actually go and help the person. How do you make sure that you are in check that this is what I really want to do, instead of like that person you having too much sympathy for the person, that's why you try to help even though you're exhausted? Like how do you
I mean,
draw a
you.
line there? Yeah,
I mean, you would know.
yeah,
Like, for example, say okay, let's say tonight, like, hey, I just wanna watch a movie,
right,
and then they're like, oh man, like I wanna talk to you, man. My girlfriend just broke up with me, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Um, if you want to be a superhero, you will, get the guy a beer or whatever. But it could backfire. They like they get some they get you get to comfort them,
yeah,
but you don't get to watch your movie. So
yeah.
in the end, they feel better, but you don't.
Mm.
So you need to kind of um shit. Okay, well I'm sounding like a dickhead right now, man. Fuck.
Right, 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 right. It's okay.
So selfish. What a dick. You don't want to help people? Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So basically, you gotta do what makes you happy first. Yeah. If like you gotta ask yourself, do I actually want to watch this movie?
Yeah.
If you feel like, hey, I could just watch it later tonight, then go ahead, help your friend. But if
Mm.
you feel like you're actually like fucking busy, like you can't watch a movie later, then talk to him through text.
Mm.
You know, you don't
Right.
have to get out of your way to do things for people unless they mean a lot to you.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's where it's important to know who's your friend and who's your acquaintance. Because
Mm.
me,
Right.
if a friend is in need and say they're like residing in another country, I actually would fly there to help them. I mean, kind of unrealistic, but I'm just speaking in metaphors. But yeah, like I would actually help them. But if it's an acquaintance, dude, fuck it, I'll just watch my movie first.
Right.
So it's also important to know which people deserve it more.
Mm. I think that's something that I actually think about a lot about, like choose the people that I really want to help to
Mm-hmm.
and then attend to them and then all that, and wow. But I like to understand like practically how you actually go around like making sure that you are drawing the correct line, that kind of stuff. Because sometimes I may get like you know, I'll say, get too rusty or not enough discipline to do this type of stuff. Like how do you make sure that you are like very disciplined towards like making sure that you are feeding your energy to the right person, that kind of thing? Is there like a sort of like a
That's
yeah,
that's the tricky part, man. You can't really like it's kind of
yeah,
um because for me it's easy to say because I have friends that I know since like childhood.
yeah, okay,
So these people are like siblings to me. So it's only these people that I would actually like eat dirt for.
mm,
But well, if you help people that you don't know you can fully trust,
right,
you're bound to get hurt. So really it's up to you.
right,
Like it's up to you whether you want to if you're gonna let that affect you.
mm,
All right. So when you help people, you gotta go in there with no expectations because
yeah,
like yeah they might use you for help and then they'll just leave you behind like but that's it's just up to you if you want to be sad about that or not.
yeah, mm,
That's where my point earlier kind of comes in, like no
yeah,
expectations,
right, right,
just
right.
whatever, you just help them all.
Definitely, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
but is how do you like actually like you know uh like to make sure that you are putting your energy at the right places? I think that is very difficult. You know what I mean? Like, uh, sometimes like say like I regretted feeding my energy to this person. Like you suddenly realize that, oh shit, I actually like wasted my time feeding my energy to this wrong person, that
No,
kind
that's
of
that's the
stuff.
thing. That's the thing.
Right.
You shouldn't regret it. You shouldn't regret.
Oh, I shouldn't regret. So
You
having
shouldn't
like
regret.
this zero expectation kind of a thing, right?
Nope, no expectations. You
Mm,
just help them, and then if they use you, I mean, the precautions I take, it's not because I don't want to help them because they're not close to me. It's more of I wanna like I could be doing something else, you know. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time,
yeah,
and sometimes I actually do waste my time.
right,
But I don't regret wasting my time because really, what is wasting time? Define wasting time,
right,
right?
yeah,
There's really everything you do in life. It's um it's progress, character development. It helps you.
right, right, right.
So even if it's a shitty result, it's still a good thing because you learned something off of it.
Mm, definitely.
So
Mm.
yeah, just like don't regret. Don't regret.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I totally get it right now. Like, like I think I'm just having this problem of like having this high expectation, which like for the like just from way back just now, like we actually talk about like having like zero expectation, having
Mm-hmm.
this low standards so that you know you won't feel disappointed and all that kind of bullshit. Yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
totally get you. Yeah. So we actually like go on and we all keep on talk about like this how to say the things and without proceeding to the podcast. But I actually felt that like this thing is like you know it's like a very interesting thing to talk about, because like how to say, like it brings clarity for both of us, right? Like suddenly like
Mm-hmm.
having like this conversation that whereby we actually talk to each other about this like different subject matters, and I think that I actually learned a lot about myself, and I hope you also learn about yourself a lot more. Yeah.
I'm
So
actually just sharing.
oh, what again?
I'm just sharing my
Yeah.
experiences. And, I didn't learn anything, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Because like this is the whole thing about like my podcast. It's like basically like allowing like each of us to learn about themselves. Because like my podcast, like the people who I invite, right, it's like not those like celebrities, that kind of stuff. It's just like a sort of a thing.
Common
It's
people.
yeah, like just normal people. And then I'm trying to, I don't know, like I actually doing for the sake of doing it at the start, and then suddenly I realized like slowly and surely, and then I suddenly found like there's it's quite actually quite interesting that
You're learning from
like
people.
people share with me stuff like their thoughts about different stuff, just getting
But
perspective and all
you
that.
know,
Yeah.
you gotta understand that people
Right.
are very we're still very primal. No matter how advanced we are, we're still very primal. We take what we need. So
Right.
there will be people that'll come and go because you have that something that they need at the moment.
Right.
So like they're just doing what nature wants them to do. So
Right.
we shouldn't be like angry at them or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm totally like into that kind of thing, that like people will just come and go. It's like a freaking hard truth lah. Up till now, like I me thinking back, like wow, like I actually have been like going through this type of pattern, like letting people going and living, every single time when I'm giving them, I have this like high expectation. That's why I realized like, oh, that's actually why I actually feel sad during those moments, like
Hmm.
I'm constantly sad and all that. And now it actually like makes sense to me now. So yeah, like that's like a super powerful thing. I thought I was the only one who was like experiencing all those, like wow. And today it's just like what the fuck.
Hmm.
That you suddenly talk about all this, and then like it just brings light to this
Hmm.
whole situation that actually happened down there. Yeah.
Because you and me we have this very approachable kind of energy,
Right. Right.
mainly because we're not noisy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I totally got you, man. Yeah. So with that, right, like um we're gonna like end this whole thing, that I just gonna stop the recording and all that. So you can just
How
say,
long has it been?
yeah, I think this been an hour or something. I think.
Oh shit! I
I think
didn't even notice.
I
What
think
the
I think
fuck?
50 minutes or what, so not, yeah. So you probably can say last few words or some shit or whatnot. Yeah.
Um. Um.
Probably like,
Actually, I wanna talk about this other thing as well.
all right, sure, yes,
You
please.
know,
Yeah.
when um. Okay, like okay. Earlier, I said that people will take what they need,
Right.
and that kind of makes them look bad, right? It makes them look animalistic and selfish, right?
Right.
But okay, when people when people um try to talk to you, they say a lot of things that seem like lies. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Yeah. Like
Like like
they are saying stuff, but it's like it's just a lie. It's just disguising a truth, with a lie like that, right?
they would for example,
Yeah.
oh shit, how do I put into words? Um, because sometimes I think a lot that I don't know how to put into words because it's like
Yeah.
math. Fuck, like say they uh they would they would try to get your sympathy
Right.
by by kind of saying that people are like like shit, like everything's against them,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know? Because
Right.
that's really how a lot of us feel. Like we feel like everything is against us,
Yes.
and then they will try to make like a friendship with you, and
Mm.
then in the end they would do the same to you.
Right.
They would do what other people did to them to you,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it makes them look like hypocrites. You
Yeah.
get you catch my drift?
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not lying. It's because they actually meant what they told you at the moment, because it's driven by emotion. They want to talk to you
Right.
because they're feeling upset, but
Yeah.
once they're happy they don't want to talk to you anymore.
Right.
So it's all just emotions. All right.
Right.
So to kind of to separate yourself from those kind of people, you got to try to not have emotions,
Mm.
because if your actions are just based off of emotions, you're you're basically just you're not thinking for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one point that I wanna kind of emphasize on.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, don't let your emotions speak for you.
Right. 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 So like, don't let the emotions, because like emotions will like keep on changing, right? So,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
exactly.
it
Don't
will
don't
make
tell.
your actions like fucked up in a sense, right?
Yeah, don't tell people things because of how you feel. You should
Ah.
you should only say things using your brain. Never let your heart speak for her, because sometimes you might say something that you mean at that particular time,
Yeah.
but then after that, when you sober up, you don't mean it anymore.
Right. Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
it
and
actually makes
it'll
sense
make
to
you
me,
look
man.
stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes people look stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally get you because like I think I get into that kind of like shit before, like I I felt very really negatively, like I felt angry or what so not. And then I speak out, and then later on I will feel like, I actually didn't mean that way. It's just like a kind of like a temporary kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like wow, like that's really a thing, like that I actually not have not thought about, and I will definitely like think take note about that as well. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. So like any last few things that you want to say before we like actually end off this whole shit, man? Yeah.
Well, I don't really have much to say to people, so
Right, right. So are you open to sharing your social media platform or what's or not? Yeah.
social media. Yeah, I guess just follow me on Instagram, but not Twitter, because my Twitter is like complete. It's just a bunch of fuckery.
All right, all right. Okay,
Yeah, a lot of
cool. Yeah,
stupid jokes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Instagram, Deadward, Deaduard. That's a play of words. My name's Edward, but then I put dead at the front. I
Is
was I
there
was 15
there
and
any
I was
reason why
15.
like you put it as dead?
Um,
Yeah.
dead. I don't know, cause I don't know. Dude, it's kind of cringe, but I kind of just stuck with it. I was 15, because when you're really young, then you're like, oh fuck, man, like, oh shit, I'm so emo. Then
Right.
then I gotta just like felt dead on the inside, like, bro, I'm so emo.
Right.
Then yeah, then I just kind of like mixed the two words, dead Edward, so Deadward. That's
Ah,
Edward with a U.
I see. I
So
see.
yeah,
All right. Cool.
kind of
Cool.
cringe, kind of cringe.
Yeah. Cool. So like super like happy that you actually like agreed to actually do this whole thing as a whole, because like I myself I enjoy like talking to people like one to one, and then like
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
Yeah, I
shit,
enjoyed it
and
too.
just like just like a friendly chit chat and all that, and learn about
Mm-hmm.
like different people. If I did not like actually like did this whole thing with you, right, I will not have known like what kind of a person you are, and like like I got I got a good gut feeling about you, since like I see you, I just can see through your energy, like the way you actually speak to
Mm-hmm.
people, all that. Then I feel like, hey, this guy is like, I think he's a nice guy, then I'm really curious to know about you. That's why I like hit you up and all that, and like it turned
Mm-hmm.
out really well, at this talking session. So yeah, super
Mm-hmm.
honored, like super happy to have you here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no worries, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Right,
with um, it's important to to have that whole nice guy persona,
right. Because
no matter
yeah,
how shitty things get, because it makes everyone happy.
right. And then the
Yeah.
moment that you kind of like say that you I was like during 2019 it was like a pretty shitty year for you. I was like pretty shocked, like, because during then I see you like, hey, you didn't change much though, like during 2020 and 2019, and then like, bro, oh, like shit goes down, like you just can't
Mm-hmm.
tell, right, on the surface level. That's why
Yeah.
you got to go into this shit and all that. Yeah. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. I hope you had a great fun right over here. And then I think I'm gonna end off like this whole thing as a whole. Yeah.
All right. All
All
right,
right.
man.
All
It's
right.
nice speaking with you, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys had a great listen. Yeah.
Hell yeah.